Good evening, everyone. My name is the Reverend Eric Severson. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Midland's online Christmas Eve service. It will be a simple service, mostly without slides, but we will have an eclectic mix of words and music celebrating the light of stars and the light within us. Please type into the chat box who you are and who you have brought with you tonight. If you're visiting us this evening for the first, second, third time, a special welcome to you. If you have any questions, please let us know in the chat box, by phone, or through our Facebook page. Now is the time to gather your chalice or candles to join in our chalice lighting or in our traditional candle lighting at the end of tonight's service. Our offering this evening, as it does each Christmas Eve, will go to support our fellowship's Minister's Discretionary Fund. As I wrote in the newsletter, you and others have helped provide $10,000 to local people and organizations in the past year. Donations to this fund are not tax deductible, but are greatly needed and always are gratefully received. Please give us as generously as you can, and may what you give bring you joy. Next Sunday's service, Treasuring the Dark, will be a simple service also, honoring the dark, quiet, inherent in hibernation and the fallow season, offering us nurturing rest and regeneration. We hope you can join us for that. If you have a candle or chalice at home and would like to light it now, please do so. Our chalice lighting words tonight are by the Reverend Dr. Dan Lambert. We gather together on this Christmas Eve as fellow sojourners, looking for light, for hope, for peace, and for love. We gather as people from many backgrounds, many faiths, many cultures, and many spiritual paths. But as we light this chalice, we gather as one body, looking to the Nativity for its message to all of humanity. Its message is that there is light, there is hope, there is peace, and there is love. Our opening words tonight are titled, "In Whom Will We Be Reborn?" by the Reverend Alex Klingenberg. We come together tonight to remember the history or the myth that says hope was born in the form of a baby named Jesus. What is so compelling about the story of Jesus' birth, his life, his love? Why has this story reached across the ages to us while so many others have faded into history? Jesus embodies the best of what humanity can be: compassionate, humble, brave, and mortal. Jesus asks us to make the most of our life, to create joy where there is pain, to care for the poor and question the powerful, and perhaps most importantly, to question the purpose of our own lives. What will we leave in our wake? In whom will we be reborn? What light can we bring in the darkness? Tonight, on the eve of Christmas, we contemplate the significance that one person can have and revel in the joy of possibilities.
Mary gently holds you, softly, softly. Joseph's love enfolds you. Sing Alleluia. Through the eons reaching, Jesu, Jesu, love's great lesson teaching. Sing hallelujah.
Thank you, Melanie. We'll now share in a reading from the Jewish Holy Days of Hanukkah, which ended a few days ago. It is called Each Candle a Miracle by Amanda Udis Kessler. We light the Hanukkah candles in wonder, joy, and gratitude, each candle a miracle. When the Holy Temple was rededicated at the time of the Maccabean liberation battle, only 1 day's worth of oil remained, yet it burned for 8 days. So we light candles in remembrance. We rededicate ourselves to the miracle of light in a season of darkness, to the miracle of trust in a time of anxiety, to the miracle of hope in a time of despair, to the miracle of faith in a time of cynicism. We rededicate ourselves to the miracle of wholeness in a time of fracture, to the miracle of courage in a time of fear, to the miracle of resistance in a time of oppression, to the miracle of peace in a time of violence. And in a time of hatred, we rededicate ourselves to the miracle of love. Our story this evening is an earth-centered one, celebrating the winter solstice. It's called The Rebirth of the Sun. It is from the book Circle Round by Starhawk, Diane Baker, and Anne Hill, and was copyrighted in 2000 by Miriam Simus, Anne Hill, and Diane Baker. It's used by permission of Bantam Books, division of Random House. We'll have to use our imaginations to see the pictures in our minds. Circle round, and I'll tell you a story about when the sun was born again. It was the middle of winter, and the sun had grown very old. All year long, the sun had worked very hard, rising and setting day after day. All year long, the sun had fed everybody on earth, shining and shining, giving energy to the trees and the flowers and the grasses, so they could grow and feed the animals and birds and insects and people. All year, the sun's gravity held tight to the spinning ball of the earth and the twirling ball of the moon and the 8 other whirling planets as they traveled around and around and around, until the poor sun was dizzy watching it all. Now the poor tired sun could barely make it up in the morning, and after a short time needed to sleep again. So the days grew shorter and the nights grew longer, until the day was so short it was hardly worth getting up for. Night felt sorry for the sun. "Come to my arms and rest, child," she said. "After all, I am your mother. You were born of my darkness billions of years ago. You will return to me when all things end. Let me cradle you now as I shelter every galaxy and star in the universe." So night wrapped her great arms around the sun, and the night was very long indeed. "Why does the dark go on so long?" asked children all over the earth. "Won't the sun ever come back?" "The sun is very tired," the old ones said. "But maybe if you children say thank you for all the things the sun has done for us, the light may return in the morning." The children sang songs to the sun. They thought about all the things the sun gave them. "Thank you for growing the lettuces and the corn and the rice and the wheat," they said. "Thank you for growing the trees of the forests and the seaweed in the oceans and the krill that feeds the whales. Thank you for stirring the air and making winds that bring the rain." Every time a child said thank you, the sun began to feel a little warmer, a little brighter. Wrapped safely in the arms of night, the sun grew younger and younger. At last, the children had to go to bed. "We will stay up and wait for the sun to rise again." "No," said the old ones, "we will do that." "Why can't we stay up too?" the children asked. "You can try, but you will get too sleepy," the old ones said. "But you can each light a candle, because all fire is a spark of the sun's fire. Put your candle in a very safe place and let it keep vigil for you as you sleep and dream of sunrise." So the children lit their candles and put them in very safe places, and each flame was a little spark of the sun's fire. And the sun peeped out from between the arms of night and saw all the little fires and began to feel warmer and brighter and younger still. Early in the morning, the old ones woke the children. Together they climbed a high hill and faced to the east, the direction of sunrise. They sang songs to the sun and ran around trying to keep warm. They waited and waited to see what dawn would bring. The sky began to turn from black to indigo to blue. Slowly the sky grew light. A golden glow crept over the horizon. Night opened her great arms, and in a burst of brightness, the sun appeared, new and strong and shining. For in the long night, the sun had rested well and grown young from the songs and the thank yous of the children. Young as a brand new baby, born out of night once more. Everybody cheered, and the children jumped up and down. "The sun has returned! The sun is reborn!" the people cried. And they danced and sang to celebrate the birth of a new day. And then they went home to breakfast. I invite you now to close your eyes and join in a spirit of prayer, reflection, and meditation as we hear a winter meditation by the Reverend Tess Baumberger. Something has changed in me this winter. In the past, I've focused on how long winter is, how miserable I find it, and how it seems so interminable. This winter, I find myself thinking ahead, that every day, every hour, every minute brings us just that much closer to spring. We all experience wintry times when things seem harsh and frozen or muffled by layers shrouded of snow. It is helpful to remember that each day that dawns bleakly, each night that wraps its cold cloak around our hearts, brings us closer to that time of warm and vibrant sun. It is perhaps helpful to consider that turning toward the spring is an active thing. The earth, which seems so stable, in fact flies quickly through space on its path that tilts us ever toward the source. So too, each memory we lay to rest, each truth in ourselves that we encounter and accept, each wrong act that we forgive, ushers us on toward our renewal. Thank you so much, Melanie. It is ironic that just hours before this service on treasuring the Radiance, the power went out at our fellowship building. And so we improvise, make adjustments, and carry on from our homes. As the Reverend Dan Lambert said in our chalice lighting, we gather as fellow sojourners looking for light, for hope, for peace, and for love. In Amanda Udis Kessler's reading, we acknowledge the Jewish thread of our heritage and its lesson, that which with each candle we light this evening, we rededicate ourselves to the miracles of light and trust and hope and faith, to the miracles of wholeness and resistance and courage, but most of all, to the miracle of love. Our opening words by the Reverend Alex Klingenberg spoke of the Christian thread of our heritage. She noted that we gather too to remember the history or myth that says hope was born in the form of a baby named Jesus. She reminded us that Jesus embodies the best of what humanity can be, that each of us, though mortal, may be compassionate, humble, and brave. That through his ministry, Jesus asked us to make the most of our lives, to create joy where there's pain, to care for the poor and question the powerful, and to wonder continually about the purpose of our lives. To wonder what will we leave in our wake? In whom will we be reborn? What light can we bring in the darkness? Tonight, on the eve of Christmas, we contemplate the significance that each of us can have, and we revel in the joy of possibilities. Our opening hymn offered us this blessing on the central value and lesson of Unitarian Universalism, that love might hold and enfold each of us. Tonight's meditation by the Reverend Tess Baumberger and the story reminded us of earth-based truths. That while the misery of this winter's cold, isolation, illness, and death can seem interminable, every day, every hour, every minute now brings us just that much closer to spring. Like the people in our story, cradled as we are in darkness, we welcome the rebirth of the sun and the return of light. We light candles because all fire is a spark of the sun's fire. We sleep and dream again of sunrise. We too will sing songs to the sun and will wait to see what dawn will bring. And we will celebrate the birth of a new day. And so on this Christmas Eve, we treasure the radiance that shines down on us from the heavens, from the sun and the moon and the stars. And in equal measure, we treasure the radiance that emanates from every human heart. May each of us know and cherish and embody love this night and in days to come. May we wish one another a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! We wish you a Merry Christmas! We wish you a Merry Christmas! We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year!
We wish you a Merry Christmas! We wish you a Merry Christmas! We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year!
Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings of Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings of Christmas and a Happy New Year. Now bring us some figgy pudding. Now bring us some figgy pudding. Now bring us some figgy pudding and bring it out here. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring it out here. For we all you a Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you to our virtual choir, led by Sandy Hay. The song arranged by Alice Parker, our accompanist is J.J. Treadway, and audiovisual by Sarah Nuss Warren. Thank you, one and all. Let's share now in an offertory titled Angel of Hope. And now with your mics muted, please join Sandy Hay in singing our closing hymn, 238, Within the Shining of a Star, with words by Robert Lehman and music by Betsy Jo Angerbrandt.
Within the shining of a star, we catch a glimpse of who we are. In every infant born we see the hope of our nativity. The miracle of each new birth can shake and save the stony earth. Triumphantly the newborn's cry strikes echoes from the waiting sky.
Thank you, Sandy. Our closing words on this Christmas Eve are by the Reverend Victoria Safford. Now is the moment of magic, when the whole round earth turns again toward the sun. And here's a blessing. The days will be longer and brighter now, even before the winter settles in to chill us. Now is the moment of magic, when people, beaten down and broken, with nothing left but misery and candles and their own clear voices, kindle tiny lights and whisper secret music. And here's a blessing. The dark universe is suddenly illuminated by the lights of the menorah, suddenly ablaze with the lights of the Kinara, and the whole world is glad and loud with winter singing. Now is the moment of magic, when an eastern star beckons the ignorant toward an unknown goal. And here's a blessing. They find nothing in the end but an ordinary baby, born at midnight, born in poverty. And the baby's cry, like bells ringing, makes people wonder as they wander through their lives what human love might really look like, sound like, feel like. Now is the moment of magic, and here's a blessing. We already possess all the gifts we need. We've already received our presents. Ears to hear music, eyes to behold lights, hands to build true peace on earth, and to hold each other tight in love. And as a treat this evening, I invite you to change to gallery view. I invite you to turn the lights down wherever you are, to gather and to light your candles, and to join in as fellowship member and former choir director Bernice Schelecki leads us in singing Silent Night. We'll sing the first verse twice. Bernice, if you haven't already.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round your virgin mother and child, holy and so tender and mild, sweet in heavenly peace, sleep in tenderly peace. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin, mother and child, holy and so tender and mild, sleep eternally, peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
Thank you so much, Bernice. Thank you all for joining us this Christmas Eve. I wish each of you peace, goodwill, and the hope of love reborn. Have a good night and many blessings this Christmas.